Two late-night show hosts, John Oliver and Trevor Noah, uploaded videos about the latest round of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict a few days ago. They both said basically the same thing and spoke out against Israel. Now, a lot of what they said was wrong, but because we are here to help, we will start with the things they both got right. That Israel is stronger and that there are more casualties on the Hamas side. Yes, Israel is stronger. We tried being weak for a very long time and it didn't work out so well, not only in Europe, but also here in the land of Israel. I could give you 1,000 examples, but here is one. There was a big Jewish community in Hebron. Jews have lived there for hundreds of years, until one day in 1929, many years before the occupation and before the State of Israel was established, their Muslim neighbors decided to kill them. I will leave a link below so you can see what happened there, what happens when Jews are weak. It is not only Jews, by the way. Christians, Yazidis, Armenians, I could go on, or I could just simply say that all minorities living in Muslim countries suffer. There isn't a single minority that is thriving under Muslim rule, but there is a bigger problem here. Since when is being weaker a virtue? You are not morally superior if you are weak. They are also right about the numbers of casualties. They are higher on the Hamas side than on the Israeli side. In Israel, we do all that we can to protect civilians, including the development of the most sophisticated anti-missile system in the world. Hamas, on the other hand, places children next to its rockets launcher, which are located close to schools and hospitals. Now, call me crazy, call me wild, call me a handsome son of Woody Harrelson. But if you shoot at me and my children, I'm going to shoot back. Not doing so doesn't make me moral. It makes me dead. John Oliver, you accused Israel of war crimes for blowing up civilian buildings. So what you are basically saying is that if Hamas shoots from a civilian building and stores its rockets there, then we can't do anything about it? We just sit back and wait? Brilliant idea. Let me tell you what the Israeli military does in order to save the lives of people in Gaza. Before Israel bombs a site, they send a warning, so there will be fewer casualties. From a military point of view, that is a stupid thing to do, but because Israel cares more about the lives of the people in Gaza than Hamas does, the Israeli army goes ahead and does it. If Mexico shoots rockets at Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin, I just love saying that word, Wisconsin. Do you think the US Army would send a warning before responding? If Ukraine shoot 10 rockets at Moscow this afternoon, and there are some casualties in Moscow, how would Kiev look tomorrow morning? It would be easier to count how many people were still alive. The important imbalance between Israel and Hamas is not one of power, but one of morality. Israel is a democratic state with human rights granted to its citizens. Hamas is a Muslim terrorist organization. Look what they teach their children. This is the show they put on at the end of the year. You know, when all the proud moms make videos of their talented children. Would you send your children to this kindergarten? I think you should, in the name of diversity. After you get to know the Hamas way of life, you will appreciate the democracy and human rights heaven you live in much, much more. You will even appreciate Western music much more. Britney Spears' music sounds so much better after you hear Hamas music. Having the Iron Dome to intercept rockets on the Israeli side and shooting rockets from kindergarten on the Hamas side highlights the real difference between how we treat our children and how they do. Now let's talk about where you were dead wrong, John Oliver. You mentioned Sheikh Jarrah. Here is 60 seconds about Sheikh Jarrah, which is 40 seconds too much. It is a neighborhood in Jerusalem, a mostly Arab neighborhood. In this neighborhood, there are 20 houses that belong to Jews. The Arabs who lived in these houses recognized that they belonged to Jews, and they were allowed to stay there for as long as they wanted, but they had to pay rent, which was fixed at a low amount. The Arabs stopped paying rent 20 years ago, so the Jews want their property back. Now, the people who are watching your videos and also my videos are from all over the world, And maybe some of them are watching from La La Land or from Unicorn Country, where life is just hunky-dory, where people have never heard about paying rent. But those who live in the real world know that if you don't pay rent, you will get kicked out of your apartment. I'm sure there are some bigger atrocities happening closer to your home than this story. Now, you might say that this is all part of an Israeli ethnic cleansing campaign. But if that is what Israel is doing, then boy, we are doing it wrong. Set aside the Arab propaganda for a second and take a look at the numbers. The numbers of Arabs in Israel, the number of Arabs in Jerusalem, the number of Arabs in the West Bank. They are all rising. If you want to make a video about ethnic cleansing, you might want to do a piece on the Christians in the Middle East, as they are disappearing fast. Oh, I've already used this example. Yeah, well, I will use it again, seeing as no one else does. John Oliver, if you want to make a piece about people losing their homes in the region, I would say go big, like I would go really big. This dispute over the 20 houses in Jerusalem is big, but 1 million Syrians losing their homes is a much bigger issue. You can't blame Israel for it, but it is still worth doing a video about it. Trevor Noah and John Oliver, I do appreciate you talking about sensitive issues. It is important, and as late night show host, you need to come up with a lot of different issues to talk about. Because I'm a nice guy and a good friend, I have compiled a helpful list of important, original, and unique topics that somehow don't get any coverage in the media. Let's see what we have. Gay rights in Muslim society. Are we not talking about them because they don't exist? Instead of talking about the Palestinians like everyone else does, you could do a series of videos about people who actually have a long history in the region. The Armenians, much more than just the Kardashians. The Kurds, the Yazidi. People know so little about these groups, I bet most of you didn't even notice I got their flags wrong. What else? Christian communities in the Middle East. Why are they disappearing in all Muslim countries? The list goes on and on. So many important things to talk about. Trevor Noah and John Oliver, leave me your emails below and I will send you the full list. And to finish on a serious note, Trevor and John, it is bad enough that Hamas, a terrorist organization, use civilians as human shields. Don't let them use you as moral shields too. You can do so much better than that. Please share this video. Yalla bye.